Hello everyone, UC Campbell here, and this is going to be UC Campbell's pay-per-view review for TNA Destination X 2011. First of all, to say sorry, I was going to do this Sunday night, but I got extremely tired, fell asleep, and I've had a lot of work overtime, so I've finally gotten around to making this video here this morning. To go off and say, just to quickly go off and say on the aspect of, was this pay-per-view worth every cent that people paid for it? Oh yeah, it definitely was. It was a definitely fun pay-per-view to watch, and had a lot of great matches, had a lot of great flow. The only thing that really was awkward were the two random matches that got added to the pay-per-view. The two filler matches with Douglas Williams and I'm not quite, let me take a quick look here. The Mark Haskins match for the pay-per-view, the essential no name of the person they brought in, and the Generation Me and the Eric Young and Shark Boy match. The two filler matches seemed to semi-hurt the flow. They were decent matches in themselves though, but it didn't feel like you really needed it into the pay-per-view. But overall, the entire pay-per-view was extremely fun, extremely good. You had good matches. You had great matches. The Fatal 4-Way for the X Division contract was an extremely exceptional match. Same to go with Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn. Both those matches were probably the best on the card that night. AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels put on a great match themselves as well. It got a little bit sloppy towards the end of it, but then again, they were getting extremely tired. I think the match was running at least over 30 minutes at that moment in time. The only thing that I got a little bit disappointed with was, and it might be because of watching old variations of the match, was the Ultimate X match. This Ultimate X didn't really, you had the high spots, you had some good stuff in there. It wasn't a bad match, but it didn't really seem all that special to me when they did with the entire match and how everything went on. So it was a semi-disappointing on that, but it wasn't a horrible match. It was a pretty good match in itself. No, the one thing I did, the other thing I did like was how they did the Abyss Kendrick match, having Immortal come out in their still attempts of destroying the X Division, and then having the X Division guys come out and help out Kendrick, and eventually getting the win in the match and winning the X Division title. It made the division seem important. It made it seem important to the other wrestlers. It made that title seem just important to those guys. But overall, great pay-per-view. The only problem that I had with it is, the only real problem I have with it is like I said during the predictions show, was I both love and hate these types of pay-per-views. I love these pay-per-views because usually you're going to get a bunch of fun matches, and I love to watch the fun matches on pay-per-view. It's just, a pay-per-view like this won't bring anyone new in. It won't bring a new fan in because they don't really get a grasp of what the current storylines are in the company outside of a couple of them. But otherwise, it just feels like all these other matches are extremely random. There's no story behind it. They just went out there and did their thing. So honestly, I love the pay-per-view for the aspect of having all the great matches. I hated the pay-per-view on the aspect that it just really doesn't do anything to bring what TNA really needs, is new fans to come in and more fans to come in. Now, for everybody who did pay for the pay-per-view, they got their money's worth. Definitely got their money's worth. And for everybody who watched this on a stream, I hope that you will consider paying for more TNA pay-per-views down the road. So, all in all, if you're already a TNA fan and you're watching this via stream, I hope you're going to start considering paying for the pay-per-views. I know down the road I will probably be paying for more of the pay-per-views, especially if I'm not going to be watching a pay-per-view live of the WWE. So I know that on that aspect, but yeah, that's probably the biggest problem right now, is that I notice I noticed that TNA pay-per-views usually garner 7 to 10,000 buys, while 15,000 to 20,000 will watch on a stream somewhere else. So hopefully people who will be paying for the pay-per-views will continue paying for the pay-per-views, and people who watch on stream will now consider spending their money on watching these pay-per-views as it is. But all honesty, great pay-per-view. I don't think it's going to bring any new fans in. It probably won't sell the company all that great because you didn't really show off any of the current storylines. If you want to see all the current storylines, just go ahead and watch Impact this week. But overall, great pay-per-view, great watch, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have for it. And thank you guys for watching.